once again to another Buy the Dips, Sell the Rips video. It is Sunday once again, and guys, boy, are we excited! Even though the market is red, we're still pretty excited on how things are looking. So let's dive right into it. So one of the calls that we actually made on video a couple of weeks ago, I would say maybe almost a month ago, or I would say like maybe 3 weeks ago, we called 67 and we said it was actually going to do pretty well. And right now it hit 20 million. Yeah, we called it roughly like around 3 million to 2.5, between 2.5 to 3 mil. So hopefully you guys were able to capitalize in the play. It's just like one thing that you gotta understand about these dip buying and rip buying. Sometimes things just take a little bit longer to migrate and to move a little bit further out. But if you guys want to avoid having to miss the dips, having to miss the rips, or just simply avoid a nice 10x, 5x, 20x, I'm telling you right now, Bolt Alpha is where you're going to be able to get this information. Link is down below our Discord server. Make sure you guys join up. You guys are going to be static on how well we're doing over there. With that being said, let's take a look at what we have right now. So as you guys know, the market has been on a full downtrend. Red. We'll come back to 67 in a little bit, but let's take a look at one of the coins I want to mention, and it's called Neet. Okay, very interesting coin. Very well coin to actually be able to kind of get a lot of mind share and be very viral in a sense, because basically it's just like an unemployment coin, and it actually fell down very harshly right now with this big dip. One of the first coins I actually want to call is Solana. Solana's under 140. I think if you buy Solana under 140, like 135, 140, I think it's a good buy zone for Solana in general. I think we do get a nice pushback. Probably get like a nice 30 to 40 to 50% increase on that initial buy, depending on where you buy. But with that being said, Neat, I think it's actually pretty solid right now, man. It's like a 9 mil. I think it went all the way down to almost right here 9, like bottom 9. I think you could see a nice little 2x from this one, bouncing from 9 to 20. I don't think this goes any further deeper than that 9's bounce. I think throughout the week we're gonna get a nice little bounce here as we get through, on Bitcoin and Solana and all the altcoins. We should get a nice little bounce, and I think we found our bottom. So I think we're we're gonna get a bounce here, and all these coins should bounce up as well, I guess. So give a pretty good entry. I think this is a really good one. If you haven't been positioned on this one, 20 mil was nicely, you were still able to get some X's, but 10 is actually pretty solid. Anything that you're buying within that 9 mil range to 10 mil range, I think it's a pretty solid entry for Neat here. So definitely wanted to take a look at. The next thing I want to talk about is Tokabu. Now, this guy's, as you guys know, I've been mentioning this as well. A lot of you guys have been able to 2x this as you've gone throughout like swing trading this. It came all the way down to 3 mil recently, and I think this still gets a good bounce. The cult following on this one is pretty huge. For those of you who don't know exactly what this is, it's pretty much a coin that represents gambling. Okay, so I mean that's basically what we're doing right now. So we're looking for a meme that's literally a meme of what we're actually doing. This is it, right? So I think this gets a fairly good balance. Big cult following. A lot of people changing their PFPs. So this is actually pretty good. I did pick up some more here at this 3 mil range. I think it's a very good coin to actually go ahead and get a little bit in here. The next coin we're going to mention is, as you guys know, I've been mentioning Labubu forever, but telling you guys, listen, Labubu's going to do good. Labubu's going to do good eventually once they start the lawsuit with Pop Mart. So recently, it had a beautiful push all the way to 2.5 mil. The reason is because there's going to be a movie coming out. So I think right now we're looking at the bottom of Labubu, right? So we're looking at 1.5 to be like the bottom of the coin. I think eventually, once we get a trailer of Labubu, Christmas is coming. I think that there's going to be a lot of Labubus being gifted. Plus, in addition to that, the biggest craze that Labubu had was that they were selling the actual toy in a mystery box. And this mystery box, you were able to open it up and you'd be like, oh, look at the one I got. Kind of like Pokemon cards. And they're going to be doing this a lot this year for Christmas. So I think we're going to see a little nice push here for Labubu. And I think 1.5 entry here to 1.6. It's almost a given. It's a good gamble. You get a nice little 2 to 3x here. Just off of the gamble on the initial push without the movie. Once the movie comes out, I think it'll go a little bit higher. The next one we want to mention is this one, guys. I've been mentioning this forever and ever, and that is Dupe. Guys, had a beautiful surge all the way to 32 mil here. It has a nice retracement here, which is kind of like what I predicted. I said, pushes past this, we're in a good zone because then we're going to look for a new target, which is 35 here. And now it's got a little bit of correction. It's kind of hovering within this 20 mil range, 17 mil range. I think anything you buy within this range of under 20 mil to 17 mil is a very good zone to accumulate. I do feel like we get a nice little potential push on this one as well. This one, guys, you guys know I'm super bullish on this, and I think this one goes all the way like to 800, sorry, 100 million minimum in like the current market right now, but I still think it'll get past that. But that's kind of like my target right now, where I think we're dupe would be a nice little position there, and it's still theoretically giving you a nice little 4x here, 5x from the actual entry here. So I would kind of look at this one, probably set an alert, like if it drops to 18 mil, 17 mil, and kind of get a position there if you don't have a position in dupe. The next one we're going to be talking about, and this one is because it's just coming down nicely, is Nobody, which I think it's another very good coin to accumulate. I still think this coin is not completely over. I think it will make a nice little resurge here. It might not go all the way to all-time high, but I think at that 15 mil range, I do potentially think we get a nice little bounce here at 15, and we get another push at 30. So it should give you a nice little 2x, 80%, 50%, depending if you come in with size. So I don't think it's over for Nobody, but I think it's a really good zone to kind of look at here if you're looking to get into this coin, kind of like this 14 mil range. That's where I think you guys should do pretty good. The next one I want to mention is Fartcoin, and the reason I want to mention Fartcoin is because this is kind of like the coin everybody measures how well meme coins are doing, okay? So right now, it literally, guys, bottomed out all the way down below that 240 mark, which is kind of like the beautiful sweet spot for this coin if it was going to come down to this part. Right now, it's sitting at 246. Beautiful sweet spot as well. Anything below 250 on this coin, I think it's pretty solid, because if you just literally see what happened here, came down to 245, right up to 350. It's not a 2x, but it's a big, like if you come in here with size, you should be able to get a nice little 30 to 40 to 50% increment on your port. So you get some like kind of like free Solana if you just enter below 250 on this one. Now that's without counting that if we get a massive bull run and we get some, a pretty big catalyst, then we're probably going to see this kind of go from like 250 all, it'll kind of do this kind of like what it did right here. Not that exponential push like all the way up here, but we could possibly see this, okay, up to 1.7 billion. Maybe not that high, but at least come close to 1 bill. And roughly like that from 250, if it gets past 500, that's a clean little 2x. With not that much risk that this is going to go even further down. Because the furthest down that this has actually ever gone when it's retraced, it's kind of what we're looking at right now, which is here, 232. Okay, that's the lowest it's been. So theoretically speaking, I feel like this is a good buy just because it could possibly give you a 2x on a nice little bullish run, semi-bullish run. If it's super bullish, you'll probably get like a nice little 3 to 4x off of this one. It'll probably go to 1 bill again. So you just want to make sure you guys are considering that when you're trading. A lot of people like to invest on this coin just because it's pretty healthy. The next one we're looking at, guys, is USDUC. Now, this is another coin that's kind of revolving around like the useless coin, fart coin type of play here. This one in particular, I would not buy right now at 5 million. I would not buy. I would actually wait for the drop to 3.4. That's the only time I would probably consider buying this coin and seeing if it consolidates. Okay, I want to make sure it consolidates, because if it doesn't consolidate, I'm gonna skip this one. I didn't want to mention it because it's in a downtrend. I don't think it's gonna stop there at 5. I think it's gonna keep coming down to 3.4, and that's where I'm gonna look at it and see. Okay, I want to see if it's actually a healthy coin, because if it is a healthy coin, it will consolidate there at that 3.5 4 mil range, and we're gonna see a consolidation and people kind of being bullish about it. But right now, it is not in a buy zone because I still think it dips a little bit more. I would just set up an alert, look for it, what happens, and kind of see what's going on right there. The next one I want to mention, guys, is OneCoin. And as you guys know, I've been heavily promoting OneCoin because I feel very bullish about this coin. I think this coin's going to do pretty well. And to be quite frank, I didn't expect it to come down to 10 mil. I kind of was expecting to kind of just stay there roughly around that 15, 17 mil range, around there, just because of this massive liquidation event that we had recently. But I'm kind of happy it just kind of stopped, went to like 7 mil. A lot of people took advantage, bought in at 7 mil. It's back now to like 8, 9 mil here range. I think we're going to consolidate for a little bit longer than what we expected. But I don't think the run is over for this coin. I think there's just too many people behind this coin that are crazy, crazy rich that literally bought this coin around 30, 40 mil. I mean, sorry, 30, 25 million. And I think they bought it for a reason because they did. I hate using the word they knew or they know, but they kind of know and knew that this coin's going to keep going up. Right now, I feel like it's kind of like a gift that it actually fell this low, to be quite frank with you guys. If it does dip below the 7 mil, I might add a little bit more. But right now, I just have a lot of this coin currently right now, and I do expect this coin to break all-time high. So that's how I feel about this coin. So right now, if you're looking to get in 10 mil, 8 mil, 7 mil, beautiful range. You can potentially get a nice little. I mean, in what I think this coin's going to do, at least an 8x to a 10x on this one. So it looks pretty good. The other kind of coin that I'm super bullish on and everybody's kind of not bullish on is Fun. And this ran up to 20 million. It's kind of held at 2 mil, 1 mil range. We had two really bad red markets that pushed this back down to 1 mil. Another bad market that pushed this all the way to 700K. Right now it's at 739. And it kind of looks dead, to be honest with you. It kind of looks dead, but this is what this channel is all about. This is what we're all about, is we're trying to position ourselves in a way that we're buying low and we're selling high. That's where we buy the dips and we sell the rips. I think potentially this coin before, I'm going to say before Christmas, will not be at 700K. I think by the time we get around Christmas, I do feel this coin's going to be over 2 mil. Now, with that being said, from here to 2 million, that's a 2x, a little bit more than a 2x. So I don't think this coin's going to go below this mark where it kind of fell. I think it's like the lowest it went to is like 650 or 680. I don't think it's gonna fall below 650. Okay, so if it doesn't fall below 650, which is kind of like the bottom of the bottom, basically if it falls below 650, it is over. It is like goodbye. It was fun trading you, but it is lights out. Right now, it's almost like dead. Right? I do think it's gonna revive. Okay, I do think it's gonna revive. It's gonna come back to life. I've seen many coins do this, and I do feel, all right, I do feel that this is gonna try to come close to all-time high. Right now, it doesn't look that way, but you're gonna be pretty much be able to mark this video. We're gonna come back to it, and we're gonna see where it's at. But I do think we'll be like either by 2 mil or above 2 mil before we get to Christmas. So that's what I'm going with right there. That's why I'm the alpha before the alpha, and I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. So that's the good thing. The next one we're going to be taking a look, guys, is useless. And as you guys know, I've always called the bottoms useless, called the bottom here, called the bottom here. And I've been giving you guys some really, really good takes on this one. I don't think this is completely over. The only concern I have right now with useless is if this is the actual bottom. Okay? Because theoretically speaking, we could probably see if the market keeps getting pretty red, it coming down to 80, 70 mil range. And that's my biggest concern with this one. Right now, it looks like this might be the bid zone where you're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to bid on this one and then, you know, potentially ride it to a nice little clean 2x here from 100 to 200 mil. But I don't know if we're going to see a little bit more bleeding in the market. I think the bleeding in the market is over. And I think we saw the floor not only for Solana, but we also saw the floor for BTC, which is like 92K and 93K. But, and for Solana, you know, 134, you know, 135. I think that's the bottom, and I think we get a bounce. But you never know what happens in the market, right? Because I can't really predict that. But what I can tell you is if that is the bottom for BTC and the bottom for Solana, then this might be the bottom for this coin. And we see the bounce happen at here at, you know, that 100 to 115 mil range. So I wouldn't go super big on this one. Like, you know, where I'm jumping like 500 Solana or 300 Solana on this one. I'm going to probably play it a little bit conservative, maybe drop 100 here. And then, you know, probably look for a 2x because I still have that possibility that if it does come down here to this 80 mil range, I'm going to have to double down on this one. So I put 100, then if it comes down to 80, I have to put in another 200. So that, you know, brings me up to 300 Solana. But I do think we get a bounce, which is a good thing. And that's why I want to mention it for you guys, you know, regarding that. So going back to 67. Now, this is, I hate using the word brand new coin because it's not a brand new coin. but it has a brand new resurgence. Okay, and I do think out of all the coins right now, out of all the coins that we have currently right now on the deck, the one with the biggest mind share is this one. Okay, and what I mean by mind share is like everybody that is not crypto native is talking about it or is referencing it or knows about it. Okay, and that's what I like to trade. I like to trade coins that I feel like someone else is going to buy that is not in crypto trader, that is not, meme coin savvy, that doesn't know, and they're going to come and buy it just because they know what it is. So theoretically speaking, it hit 20 mil. I do feel like it gets a retracement from 20 mil. It kind of already happened just recently. It went to 20 mil. It kind of dropped back here to 15, like 16, 15. What I'm looking is for this one to get a beautiful retracement here to 15 mil. That's what I'm looking. I'm looking for this to come back down here, come down to 15 mil. If you're trying to get into this one, this 15 mil range, I think this is where we kind of see a retracement down to this. I'm gonna put 16, and let's move this guy up here. And I'm gonna say like around here, around that 16 to 15 mil range, I think we get a retracement. Possibly, we could see it come down to 14. So I'm gonna leave a little open range here from 16 million to 14 range. That's where I kind of would be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw a little bit of Solana there. I'm gonna throw like 20 Solana there, and hopefully this actually rips and goes crazy. It goes to like 30 million, 40 million, 60, 80 million, and then we had a run, right? I don't think the run's over for this one. I just think it has a lot of mind share, and I feel like a lot of people are going to trade this coin. Pretty big KOLs which are already trading it. So I do feel like we'll have that opportunity. I just don't feel very comfortable buying at 20, but I feel comfortable buying below 20. So I just want to get that nice entry. I think that range right there is at 16 mil to 14 mil. Even theoretically, they came down to 17. I would still consider kind of buying and just taking a little bit of position because I know it's going to go back up. I just want a better entry to get more X's. But that's what I'm looking at for this one in particular. If you're looking to get into a coin that kind of has an upside very, very sporadically, like right now. Okay, so that's what we have, guys, to provide the dips and sell the rips. Remember, these videos are exclusive the whole Sunday on the Bolts Alpha. So if you want to watch these videos early before anybody sees them, join Bolts Alpha so you guys get that alpha, get that opportunity to jump into a coin early, and then you guys are already up in the game. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.